All right, good evening. We are reconvening our meeting after our closed session, and we will have our clerk read the actions taken in closed session. Trustee Milchiker.
The actions taken in closed session today on a 7-0 vote, the board approved the termination of a publication technician. That's all.
Okay, thank you. And Trustee Tim Jemal will lead us in the invocation. Please rise.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a wonderful time for our community colleges. We witness ceremonies pinning nurses, awarding scholarships, and of course commencement in just 4 days. We see our students brimming with pride and confident about the future. But we are also reminded that our community colleges often offer students a second chance. On a day when we welcome to the board our newest student trustee, it should never escape us that our core mission is to achieve successful outcomes for our students. Thank you, and amen.
All right, remain standing, and Trustee Jay will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Face the flag, please.
Address the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and our first item in business is the swearing in of our brand new student trustee, David Robinson from Saddleback College. Would you please rise and repeat after me? Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, David Robinson,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. Do you have any family you would like to introduce to us, David?
I do not have any family present.
All right, thank you. All right, very good. We are now at our resolutions, and let's see. Our first resolution will be presented by Chancellor Portner, and it's for the District Services Administrator of the Year.
And this is for the District Services Administrator of the Year, our own Dr. Debra Fitzsimons. Whereas Dr. Debra Fitzsimons, Vice Chancellor of Business Services, has been selected as the 2012 District Services Administrator of the Year after just 2 years of service, having shown extraordinary leadership in accreditation, planning, and resource allocation. And whereas Dr. Debra Fitzsimons supervises many departments and employees in district services, including fiscal services, accounting, payroll, facilities planning and purchasing, warehouse and mailroom, chairs the majority of district-wide participatory governance committees, and has led negotiations to develop a workable agreement for the Advanced Technology and Education Park, enhancing its overall value. And whereas colleagues admire her hard work and say she is a true professional who brings a real-world business sense and encourages district-wide collaboration. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Dr. Debra Fitzsimons for her outstanding services and unwavering dedication to our district, and hereby bestow the award of 2012 District Services Administrator of the Year. And I'm delighted to be able to read this. I've really enjoyed working with Dr. Fitzsimons.
All right. We now have to have a roll call vote.
Trustee Jay. Aye. Trustee Jemal.
Aye.
Trustee Lang. Aye. Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Student Trustee Robinson.
Aye.
Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words, Dr. Fitzsimons? And do you have anyone to introduce to us?
Just thank you very much. I really appreciate the award. It was very kind of everybody to do that. And my husband was supposed to be working this evening, but he did show up, so I'll have him stand. Embarrass him,
Great.
too.
All right, our next resolution is for the Irvine Valley College Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award 2012-2013.
This is for, as Trustee Padberg said, the Irvine Valley College Classified Employee Award for Patric Taylor. Whereas Patric Taylor, currently the Irvine Valley College Performing Arts Center Production Manager, has been awarded the Irvine Valley College Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award for 2012-2013. And whereas in nominating Patric Taylor, his colleagues said, Patric is a joy to be around. His sense of humor is contagious. He makes people smile. He is generous with his time, talents, and resources. The phrase, the show must go on, encapsulates Patric's attitude and dedication to his career, school, and life. Whereas Patric's enthusiasm for life and people is demonstrated by his demeanor, professionalism, dedication, and to going above and beyond his high standards and work ethic, and his ongoing commitment to IVC students, colleagues, and the public at large. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do commend and congratulate Patric Taylor for his outstanding service to and the representation of Irvine Valley College.
Congratulations. All right, we have a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Jemal.
Aye.
Trustee Lang. Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Student Trustee Robinson.
Okay, congratulations.
I have a couple things here for Patric, but I also wanted to mention that he's one heck of a softball player. I played several seasons with him, and you'll see when he speaks here in a minute, he's the one that says, throw the bum out. He's really a lot of fun. Anyway, Patric, you received your crystal at the event that the classified staff had, but I have for you a $100 gift card and an annual parking certificate for free. There you go. You'll have your own spot. Thank you. And I also have for you your name on the IVC perpetual plaque here, and so you can take this for 24 hours, and I need it back. But there you go, as well as your...
Okay, Patric, did you want to introduce? Oh, sorry. Okay. Did you have some comments, Patric? You want to introduce anyone?
Certainly. No one was more shocked at the retreat than I was when my name was called. For someone who was always sent to the principal's office, I thought I was in trouble again. So, but as it turned out, I wasn't, and I'm deeply grateful. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I did bring someone special with me tonight, my lovely wife, Lynn, who's sitting in the audience here.
All right, and now the Saddleback College Classified Outstanding Service Award. Presented by President Burnett.
The Saddleback College Classified Employee Award is given to Brooke Sauter. Whereas Brooke Sauter, a senior administrative assistant for Saddleback College Transfer, Career, and Special Programs Division, and an employee for 6 years, is commended and appreciated for her professionalism, efficiency, skills, and willingness to help in all areas of the college. And whereas Brooke's admiration and affection for Saddleback College's veteran students is noticeably mutual, she is called the backbone of the Vet Center because of her warmth and natural ability to connect with veteran students, easing their stress and anxiety. And whereas Brooke offers her savvy skills to several campus-wide activities, including commencement, senior day, and additional programs in the college's outreach and student development departments. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend Brooke Sauter for her outstanding service and unique dedication to Saddleback College and bestow upon her the Saddleback College Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award for 2012 and 2013.
Congratulations. Roll call, please. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Jemal.
Aye.
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Student Trustee Robinson.
Congratulations again.
I, too, would just like to thank everyone and the Board of Trustees for honoring us all here this evening. And just to say, I'm sorry, all the time. My friends laugh at me. So I just want to say that I truly love what I do every day and helping the students and being a part of everyone's life. So thank you so much. And my husband, Mike, is here tonight.
Where is your husband, Mike?
Okay, great. Our next award goes to the District Services District Services Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award.
And this is for the District Services Classified Employee Award given to Kathryn Nuñez. Whereas Kathryn Nuñez, a senior payroll specialist since 1998 and employee since 1989, was selected for the 2012 and 2013 District Services Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award. And whereas Kathryn Nuñez is recognized for her numerous contributions, including improved customer service and processing of 2,000 checks a month for a value of $9 million, including payroll deductions, leave balances, employment verifications, unemployment, and the part-time faculty insurance allowance program, all of which help employees. And whereas Kathryn Nuñez has served as a second vice president on the CSEA Executive Board, member and chair of the CSEA Scholarship Committee, chair of the Nomination Committee for the CSEA Executive Board elections, and CSEA Job Steward in order to assist classified staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Kathryn Nuñez for her outstanding services and unwavering dedication to our district, bestowing upon her the District Services Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award for 2012-2013.
Congratulations. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Jemal.
Aye.
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Student Trustee Robinson.
Congratulations.
And also to present to Kathy is a $100 gift certificate card, and also, and this is probably the most valued part of it, is a designated parking spot for the next year. So that's probably what she'll use the most.
All right. Do you want to have a few words, Kathryn?
I just want to thank the awesome women of payroll. I've got two of them here, Bernie and Lisa, who work so hard and are so dedicated. They make my job so much easier, and I really enjoy working with them and making the payroll move slowly. And I also have my daughter here, who works at IVC, and my grandchildren, Shayla and Jordan.
Oh, word. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
All right, our next resolution is Saddleback College Forensic Team, and President Burnett will present that.
Because these are the two forensics teams, I have to make sure I pronounce everything correctly. I read them well. And this is for the Saddleback College's forensics team, the outstanding tournament performance from 2012 and 2013. Whereas the Saddleback College forensics team has had an illustrious year, winning team and in individual awards in regional, state, and national tournaments, and competing against four-year schools such as Rice University, Kansas State University, and Florida State University. And whereas student Carolyn Bayer Flores was named top speaker in the state at the California Community College Forensic Association's Championship Tournament, and student Olivia Novedada was named the third speaker in overall at the Phi Rho Pi National Tournament. And whereas the Saddleback College forensic team won 2 silver medals at the Pi Rho Pi National Tournament and advanced 2 Readers Theater groups at the American Readers Theater National Tournament, winning first place sweeps overall, first place for the production entitled Bellicose, and fourth place for Mouth of Lion. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend the Saddleback College forensics team for its outstanding performance and representation of Saddleback College and the South Orange County Community College District.
We have a roll call, please.
Trustee Jay. Aye. Trustee Jemal. Aye. Trustee Lang. Aye. Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Student Trustee Robinson.
Okay.
I'd like to say thank you to everyone here tonight. I want to thank
Sorry,
the
could you
board.
introduce yourself, please?
My name is Larry Radden, co-director of forensics at Saddleback College with my wonderful coach Heidi Ochoa and Lucas Ochoa. And I'd just like to thank the board. I'd like to thank Todd Burnett. I'd like to thank Bart McHenry. And we sincerely could not do this without the beautiful, lovely spirits and hearts of the students, which they have been so much to me this entire year, and some of them are going on to great things. Brooke is going to Kenya to do work in building houses, and Jackson is going away to Eastern Michigan on a scholarship, and Dennis will be back next year. And I just met Lydia tonight, so but I want to say thank you, and I also want to say thank you so much to the Ochoas, because without them, they are the wind beneath my sails. So thank you so much, you guys.
All right, very good. Congratulations. And now the Irvine Valley College forensic team honor.
And this again
will be presented by President Rockmore.
Is the IVC, or Irvine Valley College's forensics team 2013 sweepstakes winners. And many of us attended their banquet a few days ago. Whereas the Irvine Valley College forensic team won sweepstake awards at 8 prestigious statewide invitational tournaments, becoming the top school of all 2- and 4-year colleges in the league. Whereas the forensic team had 10 students inducted into the league all-academic team, won 2 first-place sweepstakes at the Pacific Southwest Collegiate Forensic Association, and second place at the state championship of the California Community College Forensic Association, and repeated as a community college national champions for the National Parliamentary Debate Association. And whereas the forensic team set a new team record of 111 debate points and thereby won the Gold Sweepstake Awards in both the debate and overall large school categories at the Pi Rho Pi National Championships. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do commend and congratulate the outstanding award-winning performance of the Irvine Valley College forensic team.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Jay. Aye. Trustee Jemal. Aye. Trustee Lang. Aye. Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright. Aye. Student Trustee Robinson.
Aye. Congratulations.
Yes, my name is Gary Reibold. I am one of the coaches at Irvine Valley College. I also have Edwin Tiongson, who's co-director with me, one of our volunteer coaches, John Llewellyn. We have Jake and Kelly and Matt and Peter and Stephen, and of course our dean at the end, who we almost consider to be a member of our team. It is a privilege to coach at Irvine Valley College. We have a huge team this year. In fact, we had 25 people who were given debate scholarships on Friday because they had all contributed to the National Championships year-long award. We also are not finished with our season yet because on this Saturday at midnight, we're getting on a plane, and 15 of these students and 3 coaches are going to be going to China to compete in 2 international debate tournaments. So it's one of those kind of years for us. We need to thank a lot of people. Edwin centered on it for our banquet the other night, but we really want to thank our families more than anything else. My wife has to, well, maybe she gets rid of me for the weekends, but she says she wants me there. I know Edwin has a new edition coming along in August, so he's certainly appreciative that Joy is willing to give up that time. And, you know, we have all of these students who have to sacrifice their weekends and who have to sacrifice all the other things that usually would happen with a social hour. But we are just so appreciative of all of the funding that has been given to us by student government, and by our administration, by all the support that we get. It's just a great place to coach and a great place to teach, and thank you for this recognition.
All right, congratulations again. And now our Saddleback College President, Todd Burnett, will present commendations. The first one will be to Debbie Kerr. Debbie Kerr here?
Yeah, just thank you, Madam President.
Okay.
We have several commendations today at Saddleback College. First, yes, is Debra Kerr. We're very pleased to present Debra Kerr and give her our congratulations and present to the Board of Trustees. Debra was named the Athletic Trainer of the Year by the California Community College Athletic Trainers Association, which we're very proud of her. Debra has actually worked as an athletic trainer at Saddleback since 1998 and was also recognized for her work in representing the Orange Empire Conference athletic trainers for her work at postseason events and for writing medical guidelines dealing with lighting and inclement weather. But we just wanted to congratulate you, Debra, for being the Athletic Trainer of the Year in California. Congratulations. It's okay. No.
Okay, and
I forgot it was a commendation.
Our next Saddleback commendation.
The next one, we also have another distinguished faculty member who is been named Outstanding Educator of the Year, and that's our very own Dan Walsh. Come on up, Dan Walsh. Dan was named the Outstanding Educator of the Year by the California Geographical Society, which is the largest state geographic organization. Dan started at Saddleback College in 1999 and has taught world, regional, cultural, and physical geography, as well as geographic information systems. Dan has been a strong advocate for improving geographic education and programs here at Saddleback College and throughout the state, and he convinced the Academic Senate recently, actually, to expedite the process of offering the geography majors for the new transfer associate degree, which we're very appreciative of. Congratulations, Dan Walsh. Also, it's that time of the year, folks, where it's the end of the semester, end of the academic year, and we're very pleased to actually recognize 3 of our governance group's presidents, our Senate leaders that are moving on, and we wanted to recognize them tonight. First, it gives me great pleasure to bring up somebody that we all know very, very well and are very endeared to. And that is our current Academic Senate President, Dr. Bob Cosgrove. Bob, come on up. Let me tell you a few things about Bob. You know, Bob is one of those that's very selfless and does a lot of things for our students, for our employees, for our college, for our community, and not people really get to hear a lot because he's also a very humble man as well. So I hope I don't embarrass you here, Bob. Oh, good. All right, as I said. First thing, if you didn't know about Bob, Bob actually started at Saddleback College in 1981, so he's been here for over 32 years. During that 32-year period, he has been Academic Senate President 7 times. Wow. Is that a record, by chance? We don't know. Some of the things I'd like to point out that Bob has done is Bob was actually one of the faculty members and the leaders that brought the 8-week classes actually to our college and our district. He was the one that pioneered the OSH banking system, which really has helped our faculty in many ways. He actually brought department heads to Saddleback College back in Vice President Brewer. I don't know her first name, or he. Evan Brewer, and they started department chairs, which, if you know about how we operate, that's a very important development. He brought in, he's been very committed to our adjunct faculty, as we all know. In fact, I've been great partnering with Bob over the last 5 years on how we can do more and better support our adjunct faculty. In fact, he created the part-time survey. He also has been very involved in the part-time faculty and graduate teaching assistants all over the college. Bob's been very good at increasing the academic senate, actually, by increasing the number of officers, various OSH and LHEs, to really let the Senate do some valuable work that we've gone through. And over the last few years, as you know, we've been very successful with accreditation, amongst many other things, program reviews, SLOs, you name it. The academic senate's taken some strong leadership because of Bob's leadership in making sure we had the proper resources for that. He's also been very big in promoting faculty development dollars for full-time as well as part-time. He helped organize the original DRAC model for our district. Anyway, I could go on and on about Bob Cosgrove, but we just wanted to give our appreciation for Bob as being outgoing Senate President and look forward to him for, maybe 7 more times as Academic Senate President. Our next Senate President, he's walking up, is we have Don Mineo, who's been the classified Senate President for the last 2 years. As you all know, Don is no stranger to our district, to our college, and to our community. Don is one of those, I have to say, one of our staff members who's tremendously dedicated to students. He has really put students first and foremost in every way possible. If you ever see him in the Career Center and you go and you see him there, he is just constantly working and giving it his all. In fact, at very much personal cost, I might add even. But anyway, we're thrilled to... I want to thank you very much, Don, for the last 2 years of you being a classified Senate President, and here's our commendation to you.
And I'll be here for 1 more month, too. January.
And we have one for our ASG President, Rodman Oveisi, but he's probably having finals tonight. Anyway, thank you, Madam President.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we are now at public comments. Do we have anyone wishing to make public comments? All right, very good. We will go on to oral reports, board reports. We'll start with Trustee Jay.
Yes, I just wanted to mention some things that would surprise some of you, I'm sure. There's over 4,000 colleges in the United States, and rapidly approaching, and thank you, and rapidly approaching 4,500. Approximately 1,500 to 1,600 community colleges. Most of them, of course, have started after the 4-year colleges that were mentioned before. However, the numbers are really staggering. I know when I came, and I came the 4th year or the 5th year of the district, that is, and we had about, I think it was 25 or 30 programs. Now, Saddleback has astoundingly over 300 programs. And IVC, I think this figure is right, Gwen, is 167 programs that you have, something like that. And of course, there's a lot of overlap between IVC and Saddleback. But all together, both schools have over 400 programs. So it's an incredible amount of work. And let it never be said that we don't pay attention to environmental programs, because the other day I was just glancing at some other figures, and Well, for instance, on this meeting tonight, we're coming up with an alternative fuel certificate, which is really important. And, well, you can say, well, diesel, gasoline, natural gas, so what? Verified or liquefied coal and so forth. But actually, it even helped us win World War II. A lot of people don't know this, but I spent 18 years either as an active or reservist in the Air Force, and a higher octane rating of about 50 points by the end of the war, because we eliminated the Ploiesti oil fields in Romania, and the Nazis had nothing to do really but to liquefy coal, which had and that was their gasoline. So it gave us about a 50-point octane advantage in our fighter aircraft, which mentioned they were 20 or 30 knots faster. And, of course, they could outmaneuver the Nazi aircraft because of the fact that there was an octane rating difference. Very few people realize that, but we always talked about it in the Air Force.
Thank you, Trustee Jay. We need to move on. You're well beyond your 3 minutes. Or
the other thing I'd like to mention is, and this is one other item, we're going to have a hearing from 100 influential natural history writers. The most outstanding, of course, is John Muir, but that is happening in our Biology 109 this summer at IVC. Lastly, I'd like to mention our commentator for the Saddleback graduation. He's receiving an honorary degree at commencement, and he's an absolutely incredible guy. He's not only has he picked up the application rate to 70,000 apps a year now at UCI, but he's been responsible for the development of a 500,000 square foot hospital. He's developed pharmaceutical nursing programs at UCI that they didn't have before. A public law program, which is the first new public law school program in California in 40 years. He developed the School of Education up there and added 275,000 foot student center. Incredible amount of work, and it's just tough, hard-nosed administration and hard work. And so I hope we all fall out and listen with great interest as he directs the commencement exercises this coming week.
All right, Trustee Jemal.
Thank you, Madam President. As I mentioned in the invocation, lots been going on the past month. I'm not going to go over the litany of activities. I know many of my colleagues are participating in them. It's a real joy to be a trustee at all times and an honor, but this month in particular. I was really impressed. Haven't been able to attend everything, but the scholarship ceremony at Saddleback College on Friday, the number of students receiving STEM scholarships in particular was very impressive. STEM being science, technology, engineering, and math. I was very impressed by that number and impressed by the number of students and the diversity of students. We have, we're a really diverse community college district. But it was really heartening to see them come forward and look forward to the next stage of their career. I'm also looking forward to the ATEP presentation today. One of the reasons I wanted to get in this seat was to do my part to help ATEP reintroduce itself to the community and to partners. So I really look forward to that presentation later in the board agenda. Thank you very much.
Trustee Milchiker.
I thought I would just read some of the events I attended this month, just because I just want to let people know the depth and the breadth of the things that are going on at our district. I do enjoy being invited, and when I'm invited, I try to attend events, and it really helps me learn firsthand what's going on at the college and people hard at work, working with our students, helping our students to succeed. So let me just run down the list. First was the Irvine Valley College newly tenured faculty reception. the South Orange County Community College Legislative Task Force, which I was a founder of, and it's so fulfilling to me to see that all four chancellors from all four districts always attend these meetings. Also, I want to thank Chancellor Portner and Terry Pflugerman and Joyce Bartlemain because they have chaired this Orange County Community College Legislative Task Force for the entire year, and we're moving on to a different college, and they've done a great job, really. We've gotten a lot of legislation passed that's really important for our students. Then I attended Carolina Hernandez Bravo spoke and gave a lecture, and that was interesting. There was a special board meeting on ATEP. The Irvine Valley College Distinguished Academic Lecture Series, where students and staff were able to attend for free. Dr. Michael Shermer, founding publisher of Skeptic Magazine and monthly columnist for Scientific American, spoke, and I bought his book. Saddleback College Nurse Pinning Ceremony, ATEP tour by Randy Peebles, which was really fascinating, and I'll tell more about that when I have more time. I spoke with Bruce Sobstack, one of the professors at the ATEP, and learned a little bit more about what's going on there, and also learned that the Minister of Science at Myanmar came to ATEP, and Randy Peebles actually gave him a presentation about how we have these partnerships with business and industry in our education. The Saddleback College Scholar Athlete Award, Scholar Baller it's called, the Irvine Valley College Scholarship Ceremony, and the Saddleback College Scholarship Award Ceremony, where we gave close to $500,000 out to our students, and the Irvine Valley College Forensic Awards Banquet. Our board self-evaluation, and there's more things coming down the pike for the next 2 weeks, but I'll leave those for next meeting. Thank you.
All right, Trustee Pendergast.
Yeah, one of the things that I was able to attend last week, the Tech Voice presentation breakfast at IVC. It was very informative. We had a keynote speaker was Representative John Campbell. It's very interesting to hear some of his insights on policies and things that will affect the future, not only for the country, but for the community colleges. And so that was a very nice event, and I was glad I was able to make that. And then we got graduation Friday, and I'll be going to those.
Okay, thank you. And this is the busiest month we have. Of course, we do more things than just come to board meetings, but I did attend the special board meeting on ATEP, the Saddleback College Journalism Awards Banquet, the Saddleback College Nursing Pinning, the Saddleback College Scholarship Awards Banquet, and the IVC Scholarship Awards Banquet. I attended the IVC Speech and Debate Awards Banquet, the board self-evaluation. I will be attending 2 graduations on Friday, and I plan to attend the KSBR, Saddleback College KSBR Birthday Bash, and the Saddleback College Golf Team Award coming up. Okay, next, Trustee Wright.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, I was privileged to attend a number of events also. As mentioned, this is a very, very busy month with a lot of activities. Again, I started by visiting the IVC 10-year faculty celebration. This was on the 30th of April. The Board of Trustees special meeting that we had on ATEP. I look forward to the presentations this evening. I also had the chance to be interviewed for TV on Channel 6 for Laguna Woods. That was a good experience. Attended the 4th annual end of the year Vets Recognition event for our veterans here at Saddleback College. Attended the Tech Voice breakfast, where we heard again Congressman John Campbell. Very, very good. I enjoyed that very much. That was at IVC. Nurses Pinning Ceremony. President's Roundtable for Economic and Workforce Development, which I thoroughly enjoyed here at Saddleback. The Scholar Awards Banquet. Again, the board self-evaluation. I'm looking forward again on Friday to attend both graduations at IVC and Saddleback. Again, it's been a busy month, and it's very rewarding to see our students succeed and move on.
Trustee Lang.
Yes, echoing my colleagues' remarks on what a busy month it's been. I also attended a number of different events, which included both the Irvine Valley College and Saddleback Community College Scholarship Awards Ceremony at each college. I also attended the Irvine Valley College Speech and Debate Team Awards Dinner, and must say, very impressed, Gary, with the caliber of students that participated in the program this past year, their many achievements, the dedicated coaches, including yourself, assistant coaches, parents, and all others who helped make this activity such a success year in and year out. Obviously, that goes to your counterparts at Saddleback Community College as well, Gary Radden and his team, and what a great job they did as well. I also participated in the board self-evaluation this past weekend, and I look forward to the commencements at both colleges this coming Friday. I think that we may have previously congratulated IVC President Glenn Rockmore on his recent appointment to the President's Academy Executive Committee, which serves as an advisory group to the AACC President and CEO in planning its Summer Institute. That was recently an item that was carried in the Irvine World News, and very proud and pleased to see that. Also very excited about Chancellor Michael Drake, as Bill J. mentioned earlier, as the Saddleback Community College commencement speaker, and congratulate the members of the commencement committee on your choice of him. And finally, welcome to our new student trustee. Thank you.
All right, and our new student trustee is next on his report, please.
Thank you. I'm very thankful for this unique opportunity, and I wish to thank the board, staff, faculty, administration, and my peers at both Saddleback and IVC. Just a quick word about myself. I chose to realize my dream of a college education at Saddleback, but have also completed classes at IVC. I have learned that life is not a predetermined journey, but rather a journey that each individual must decide for himself. Events that transpire along the way do not just disrupt the journey, but also sometimes occur to benefit it. I am grateful for the opportunity to give back and improve the district and the community. Thank you.
Okay. And now our Chancellor's report.
First of all, I'd like to welcome David Robinson, our new student trustee. I had an opportunity to meet with him for about an hour last week, and I think he's going to do a wonderful job in his new role. I'm looking forward to it. I'd also mention that on tonight's agenda, we have the final of the year-long presentations of the student success recommendations. And this one is on aligning resources with student success. And then lastly, but not least, is the ATEP approval of ATEP contract in the CEQA hearing. And I've been involved in this in one way or another since 1999, so it's something I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, thank you. And now our president's reports. President Burnett or President Rockmore, go ahead. Irvine Valley College.
Thank you, President Padberg. Appreciate it very much. First of all, congratulations, David, on your election to this post. That's great. I'd like to thank everyone for your attending all the various events that we have during this month of celebration. We appreciate every moment that you put toward that. We also look forward to you coming out on Friday. That'll be another great event. Just a couple of short things out of my report here that I want to highlight. First is the University of California, Irvine goes through a process where they ask their first-year successful students to name an instructor or a counselor at their community college who had the most significant impact on their academic performance and successful transfer to the university. And I'm proud to say that this year they selected Dr. Jerry Rodman and also Dr. Carrie Tucker to be awarded that recognition. It was wonderful. The second thing I want to point out just quickly is first time in the history of Irvine Valley College, the Jack Kent Cook Foundation awarded one of our students the 2013 undergraduate transfer scholarship. And the student's name is Chang Gu, goes by Amy. And this particular award, she's one of 73 across the nation to receive this award. She will have access to $30,000 per year as she pursues her baccalaureate degree. So congratulations to Amy on that.
Likewise, welcome Trustee David Robertson. Also, as you had heard, we had our Saddleback College Foundation 37th Annual Scholarship Ceremony last Friday. Thank you to the 4 trustees that were able to attend. Thank you very much. It was a record $500,000 given in scholarships, which is a stunning amount of dollars for more than 300 students. So I want to thank our foundation for the amazing work that they've done and the amazing contributors in our community. And what's really exciting is that we've only just begun, and we're going to be having more and more of the increases in scholarships and other funding in our foundation will help our students, our faculty, and all of our programs. You've already heard it. We're looking forward to commencement on Friday. Very, very exciting. And I'm glad you're all excited about our commencement speaker. We were very thrilled when Dr. Drake agreed to be our speaker, and we're looking forward to his comments. And you also heard that the KSBR birthday bash is coming up on May 26th. And I know several of the trustees will be attending as well. And for the community, it's a thing not to be missed in Mission Viejo. It's at the Murray Center over in Mission Viejo. So really encourage people to attend. Thank you.
All right, and next on our agenda is our discussion item, but we are going to advance. Board report. Sorry. Board requests for reports. I beg your pardon. Okay, and I believe there some trustees would like to make requests for report.
Yeah, I have one to submit this evening that would be on the agenda for next month. I'd like to look into, after getting a presentation in my district, very curious to find out the potential impact of the Affordable Care Act on the district. There are some implications toward personnel and financial decisions that we're going to have to be making in the future when it starts going into effect. And so I know that the office has already been kind of looking at it, but I kind of wanted to piggyback on the work they're doing already and find out some of that information for us.
All right, very good. And that request will come back to us at next meetings for approval for that report. Thank you very much. Now we are at the discussion item, which is going to be postponed. We are going to advance 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3. We have several people here for those items on ATEP, and it is a public hearing. So having said that, we will, at this point, adjourn to the public hearing, which is 6.1. This is to consider a number of proposed agreements with the City of Tustin related to the build-out of the campus at ATEP and the associated California Environmental Quality Act CEQA documentation. The first board agenda item 6.1 is titled Conduct a Public Hearing to Consider Public Comments on the Certification of the Addendum to FEIS/EIR and approval of the project, which includes the agreement for the exchange of real property, development agreement, and restated conveyance agreements, and 2 infrastructure construction and payment agreements. As indicated in the board agenda item title, we will be holding a public hearing on the CEQA document and agreements covered under the next 2 board agenda items, items 6.2 and 6.3 respectively. Before we have that public hearing, however, Vice Chancellor Debra Fitzsimons will provide a presentation and a staff report.
As the board president mentioned, this agenda item pertains to a public hearing to consider the certification of a CEQA document and certain agreements with the City of Tustin. And I will describe the project, explain the details of these agreements now in a presentation along with Dr. Randy Peoples. But before I begin, I'd like to introduce a few folks that are in the audience tonight that have worked on the project, both from the City of Tustin and our own internal consultants. We have a few folks, and if you could stand when I call your name. There's Jeff Parker, who's the city manager of the City of Tustin. We have Matt West, who's the program manager for the project. Elizabeth Bansack, Director of Community Development, Justina Wilcombe, Assistant Director of Community Development, and Ken Nishikawa, Tustin Legacy Development Services Manager, all from the City of Tustin. Thank you for being here tonight. In addition, we have several folks that have worked very diligently with us on this project. We have Andrew Bernstein from Jackson DeMarco. We have Ronald DeFelice, who's not with us this evening. Aileen Tabor from Jackson DeMarco, Jeremy Kraut from RGP Planning and Development, and Nader Shah from Hudson Pacific Properties. Thank you. Okay, an overview of today's presentation. We're going to be looking at the public hearing, SECRA, Board Item 6.1, and conducting the public hearing. We're going to have certification of the CEQA addendum and initial study, which is your Board Item 6.2, which includes an Exhibit A, which is the resolution number 13.18. We have approval of the agreements, which is Board Item 6.3, with Exhibit A, resolution number 13.19. Before we go through the presentation, we're going to have Dr. Randy Peoples explain the maps and the exchanges.
Thank you. Before you see a map of the ATEP site, and this is the configuration that, as of today, we are using. There we go. And I'll use my mouse. And we see the city of Tustin here, along with the Red Hill access, and then also the city of Tustin has a site that is actually right in the middle of our site, which is challenging for our development. And also you see that this site currently is rather elongated and irregular, which of course would be challenging, not undoable, but more challenging, possibly more expensive for us for development. I'm going to click to what will become our site with the exchange parcels, and it's configured differently. As you can see, the blue area here is about a 50-acre, nice contiguous site that's all together and more easy to develop. Also, from the other slide, down in this area, I think you saw was the County of Orange location, and in a prior Board of Trustees decision, already the Orange County site is in escrow and will be at a later date. It's not part of tonight's decision, but you can see the county is over in this area now, moving and opening this up for the larger 50-acre site. It also allows this new parcel up here with actual Red Hill access, which we did not have before, for this nice parcel that will be the district. And then a larger, more contiguous site also for the city of Tustin, which is a win-win for both the city and the district. Looking over here, this is where that piece of property was in the middle of our property with Tustin. That's now will move forward to become district property. And then finally, the current temporary campus at ATEP will become actually a site for the Parks Department or the use by the city of Tustin to support their operations. But that will in fact be leased back for a short time, and Dr. Simmons will cover that in a few minutes. Did you want to?
All right. This evening, we're going to be talking about the project, and this project consists of several agreements and documents that will be approved as a packet. We have the CEQA public hearing that will be taking place. We'll be approving the CEQA certification. We'll be approving the development agreement and restated conveyance agreement, the land exchange agreement with all exhibits, the Bell Avenue infrastructure construction and payment agreement, the McCain-Smith Road infrastructure construction and payment agreement. And as part of this project, on May 13th, the City of Tustin City Council approved the specific plan and the general plan amendments to reflect the land exchange development agreement changes. The land exchange agreement is the master document for this entire transaction. It composes of an exchange of property between the city and the district, which is 22 acres in totality. It reconfigures the site for campus development. It provides access and infrastructure improvements. We have a shared dedication of Bell Avenue right-of-way. The district acquires the city daycare site, and the city acquires the current temporary campus. The district will lease the temporary campus back from the city up to 3 years for $1 a year. And the Bell Avenue and the McCain-Smith construction and cost share agreements are part of this agreement. It also provides mutual releases between the city and the district. The development agreement and a restated conveyance agreement is a separate agreement, and it restates the conveyance agreement and provides entitlements guaranteed by law as part of the development agreement. It provides for these new entitlements and for permitted uses, and we'll get into that later in the presentation. And assists in eliminating uncertainty by both parties in planning, and provides for the orderly development of the district property. It eliminates uncertainty in the application of the rules and regulations in the specific plan to the district property and provides for public services appropriate to the development use of the district property. The contents of the development agreement contains the duration of the agreement, the permitted uses of the project site, the density and intensity of the use of the project site, the provision for reservation and or dedication of the land for public purposes, and the provision of access plan and land uses contained in the land use access plan, as well as phasing. Within the development agreement and restated conveyance agreement, we have the ability to build land use category 2, which is non-educational use. We previously did not have this in the original conveyance agreement. It also provides us the ability to build between 100% educational to 51% educational and 49% non-educational. It increases the floor area ratio, which is called FAR, which is the gross square foot, from 0.30 FAR to 0.59 FAR. And it adds average daily trips. Our current average daily trips are 5,240, and it increases by 5,000 to 10,240, which is based on traffic study. These additional trips provide for allowable additional total square footage to build out building on type of uses, and it sets all future development processes and approvals. Randy Peoples is going to go over the land use categories. We have land use category 1, which is educational, and then land use category 2, non-educational, as well as the allowable, supportive, and the prohibited uses.
Thank you. Not actually in the agreement, but in the specific plan is a category 1, and here you see some examples of the allowed uses for educational. Essentially, it's what you typically would see on a college campus, and it, of course, has classrooms and buildings specifically dedicated to educational use, but it also could be other traditional things like bookstores and cafeterias and possibly even student housings and dorms. In category 2, which is non-educational, as Dr. Fitzsimons indicated, is a new allowed use for us, which you could have up to 49% maximum use. Has a number of allowed uses, which might include offices and support areas for offices, light industrial and supportive industries and businesses that would actually have, we believe, a synergy with one or more of the programs at one of the colleges, so students could, and the colleges could have benefit from that. And then the last slide is just an example of some of the prohibited uses, which is also in the Tustin specific plan. And those uses would be like shopping centers, hotels and motels, auto centers and such, which wouldn't actually be of benefit for the district to be used in any way. But those are examples of the types of uses that we'll be able to have, and they're greatly expanded, as you can see from our original plan. Thank you.
To talk about the development agreement a little bit further, we anticipate having ATEP partners or developers, and these ATEP partners or developers that would be part of our educational, non-educational land use category 2 would pay backbone fees, which are $19.38 a square foot, like all other developers in the city of Tustin. We would also, development agreement also goes through and outlines city approvals. We would have to have city approvals for certain aspects in the agreement, approval of the lessee, for instance, site plan, certain types of construction, and developers were required to meet all fee and permit requirements, as you would expect. It also includes requirement for an annual city and district meeting, as well as transfer restrictions and right of reverter, and it has a term to April 2034. The benefit to the district of these agreements is particularly on the land exchange, is the reconfiguration of the property for a more efficient, contiguous, and well-planned development of the campus, as you saw in the map. Enhanced visibility, circulation, and access and infrastructure costs will be reduced because we'll be able to develop a more appropriately able developed site. We are going to increase in square footage to be developed, And we have district is going to be able to receive some ground lease income to further develop the ATEP site due to the increased square footage. We are going to be able to do public and private partnerships, which would be very beneficial and have connections to the colleges and for our students. And we're also going to be able to have Bell Avenue constructed, which will allow better access and circulation for our campus, and more attractive site configuration for our future partners and developers. The benefits for the city of Tustin, they're going to be receiving our temporary campus for the community park department. We are going to be able to, the city is going to be able to possibly have the Army Reserve relocate to the Warner parcel that they're receiving from the district. They're going to have an educational college campus in the city of Tustin. Us being there will be able to increase in capacity for economic development in both the city and the region. And the community park is going to be enhanced by the land exchange. Costs for the city will be the Bell Avenue cost share, as well as foregoing the lease payments of temporary campus at market value. We now are going to describe the CEQA addendum and our findings, and I'm going to have Jeremy Kraut from RGP come up and discuss the CEQA process.
Thank you, Dr. Fitzsimons. Jeremy Kraut with RGP. Thank you for having me tonight. I prepared, in concert with the City of Tustin, an initial study and addendum. And the reason we did prepare this document, as summarized on your screen, the agreements that you're considering tonight are considered a project under the California Environmental Quality Act. Both the City of Tustin and the South Orange County Community College District will be implementing and carrying out these agreements. Therefore, both parties agreed to comply with CEQA by preparing the document I mentioned. So the initial study, through the preparation of the initial study, we also, in addition to this initial study, we prepared technical analyses, including a traffic study, air quality study, noise study, greenhouse gas analysis, and looked at all the environmental issue areas that are required under CEQA. And as indicated on your screen, the analysis found that the proposed agreements and also some of the actions that the City of Tustin took at the May 20th, or rather at the May 13th City Council hearing related to the General Plan Amendment, zone change, and other planning approvals, that all of those actions and the agreements that you're considering tonight fell under the analysis that was completed and conducted under the final environmental impact statement and environmental impact report for the MCAS Tustin specific plan, reuse plan. So based on that analysis, as you're seeing on the screen, we made certain findings that concluded that there were no new impacts or additional information that required further environmental review beyond the initial study addendum that you're considering tonight. This document was available for public review from May 10th through May 20th tonight, and was also available for public review for 10 days prior to the City Council hearing that was conducted on May 13th by the City of Tustin. And during both periods, 2 comment letters were submitted by the City of Irvine, one during the public review period for the City of Tustin, and one at the night of or the day of the City Council hearing. Then also an additional member of the public submitted or left a voicemail on one of the City of Tustin staff members' voicemails and spoke at the hearing. All of those comments were responded to in writing or verbally at the City Council hearing. And in addition, I believe we've transmitted to the board members here tonight a separate package with those responses to comments, and no other comments that we know of have been submitted since that time. I'm available for any other questions or comments that you might have.
As Jeremy Kraut had mentioned, we did do our due diligence that was performed before we're bringing this forward to you, environmental, geotechnical, and biological. Regarding environmental insurance, we have gotten information for our insurance carrier that we will be able to get the environmental insurance on the parcels that we are receiving from the city at no extra cost to add the city parcels to our existing policy. Part of the agreement also calls for purchasing environmental insurance for the city for their environmental insurance, a dollar amount equivalent to a purchase. We have also had surveys done, appraisals done, and the title commitment work. So the timeline at this point in time, we performed a study session with the Board of Trustees on May 7th. We had a 2-hour closed session, and we reviewed all the agreements and discussed the issues quite actively. On May 10th, there was a public hearing noticing that took place at the Orange County Register, mailings to all various agencies and surrounding property owners. May 20th this evening, the CEQA public hearing will take place, as well as the document being certified and review and approval of the finalized agreements. On the city side, they published the CEQA docs for review on April 11th. The Planning Commission reviewed the items on April 23rd and recommended to move forward to City Council. The City Council meeting took place, first reading and approval on May 13th, with a second reading and final approval of the project tomorrow night, May 21st. From the county's perspective, we have land exchange will follow after the leased Navy land conveys in fee, and that will take place after this agreement's in place. We anticipate that the close of escrow will happen on or before June 28th, 2013. Lastly, we just wanted to say that it does continue. We have to implement the agreements in the close of escrow. We're continuing along with the on-site development. We're currently in Phase 5, which is at-ground demo and grading. We have demo Phase 6 worked on for the Bell right-of-way and the buildings that we are going to be acquiring from the City of Tustin. And we'll also be working with the City of Tustin on the coordination of the Bell Avenue demolition and construction with the city. We'll be working on to intensifying our exploration for external funding, both from federal, state, and local and other sources, exploring public-private partnerships, for appropriate educational and commercial ground lease partners. And we have a lot of work to do as far as the LifeLock transfer, the County of Orange transfer for the 10 acres. We'll be working on a parking reciprocal agreement with the city and also parking MOU with the Orange County Rescue Mission. We'll also be further developing the ATEP site plan and transition planning for the IVC and ATEP operations that are currently in the temporary campus. And we'll also be planning for our annual meeting with the City of Tustin as part of the agreement, and we're going to be developing templates for ground leases. That concludes the presentation for this evening. I do now have to read into record some information. Bear with me. The City of Tustin City Council approved the agreements on May 13th. In addition to the agreements on May 13th, the City of Tustin approved amendments to its specific plan and general plan that are necessary to implement the agreements, including a general plan amendment to the City of Tustin general plan, a specific plan amendment SPA to add an extension of Bell Avenue as a secondary arterial to the circulation plan, and modify permitted land uses and land use intensities in parts of Neighborhood A, where the ATEP campus is located, and construction of an extension of Bell Avenue. These agreements and changes to the city's planning documents are considered a project under CEQA. The city and district jointly prepared an initial study addendum to the previously certified and subsequently amended Tustin FEIS EIR. Through the preparation of an initial study and associated technical analysis, the city and the district determined that the potential impacts of the project were previously analyzed in or are substantially similar to the impacts analyzed in the previously certified Tustin-specific plan. FEIS EIR, an addendum to the FEIS EIR, can be prepared. Therefore, the city and the district prepared an initial study addendum dated April 2013 to the FEIS EIR, which were made available for public review on April 12, 2013. Considered on April 23rd and unanimously recommended by the City of Tustin's Planning Commission for certification by the City Council. The City Council certified the addendum on May 13, 2013. The City of Irvine submitted 2 written public comments, one of which was provided after the public comment period, and one member of the public left a voicemail comment after the public comment period. The city staff and the City Council addressed each of these comments at the May 13th City Council hearing in written and/or verbal form. Copies of these letters and responses have been provided to the board as a separate package. Public notices about tonight's hearing have been sent by mail to surrounding property owners and interested parties and agencies, and a notice has been published in the Orange County Register. I'm now finished with the presentation. Item 6.2, the initial study addendum, is now before the Board of Trustees for certification before considering the project, which is item 6.3, and includes the agreement for the exchange of real property, the development agreement and restated conveyance agreements, and the 2 infrastructure construction and payment agreements. If there are any questions or responses needed regarding this item before or after public hearing is opened, our project team's consultants and City of Tustin staff are present this evening to assist.
Okay, are there any questions from the board to staff or consultants concerning this matter?
I do.
Trustee Pendergast.
On the responses, the letters, have we gotten confirmation from the letter writers, at least, probably not the gentleman who spoke before the city council, or maybe, that our answers were suitable? Like, have we gotten confirmation that they agree with what we said?
Jeremy Crowd, RGP. Again, Trustee Pendergast. So the so yes, you're correct on the member of the public that spoke at the public hearing. Again, that was a voicemail message that then he also commented at the hearing and responded at that time in the hearing. He didn't get back up for additional comment or clarification at that time. As far as the City of Irvine, the first letter, again, came in the public review period. A letter was written by the City of Tustin back to the City of Irvine. They also had phone conversations and offered a meeting to discuss the items that were raised in the letter. City of Irvine sent another letter the day of the City Council hearing requesting additional clarification just because of the shortened time frame that we were working within and the timing between the Planning Commission and City Council. Again, the City of Tustin, because of the timing, again, that letter came the day of the hearing. They responded, and we responded in verbal communication at the hearing, and then followed up with additional communication after the hearing, and is in still contact with the City of Irvine. And the issue, if you just to summarize it, is about traffic analysis in the study area. Again, the response, or I should say the response to that letter, was that the traffic study was comprehensive and addressed all the areas that was necessary from a CEQA perspective, though the City of Tustin and City of Irvine do have ongoing conversations about that, and they have open communication. So I guess as far as the CEQA comment and addressing that, it has been addressed from our perspective, and as far as additional just discussions between the City of Irvine and Tustin, that will be continuing throughout this process. So I guess long answer, but it has been addressed, and they are still communicating.
So we don't know yet whether or not they're okay with our answer, but they're not upset with it either. Is that?
I can't speak to their emotional, how they're responding specifically to that, but we have addressed the comment, especially from a CEQA perspective, because the issue on that is just about traffic and the scope of the analysis, and that has been addressed.
Okay, seeing no other comments or requests to speak by the board, at this point, I will open the public hearing on 2 board agenda items, 6.2 and 6.3. Members of the public should have submitted a request to speak, and if you did, I will call you up one at a time to provide comments on these items. Comments are not to exceed 5 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to speak who submitted a request? Okay, since we have no request to speak, at this point, the public hearing is now closed. Is there any further discussion on this matter from the board? Trustee Jemal.
I just want to say that I think you did an excellent job putting us in a position to move forward with ATEP. And Madam President, I know you have been involved with this process for a number of years as well, and it's
very many.
I think this is a great moment for the Community College District to reintroduce ATEP to the community. Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, 6.1 is now concluded. We will now move on to 6.2, which is consideration of resolution number 13-18 to certify the addendum dated April 2013 to the FEIS/EIR pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act for the agreement for the exchange of real property development agreement and amended and restated conveyance agreement and related agreements. I would now entertain a motion and a second for this vote. Trustee Pendergast.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Jay. And With that, let's vote on item 6.2 electronically. Trustee Jay, you need to vote. All right, the matter carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. All right. We are now at that 6.2. That addendum is certified. We're moving to 6.3, which is consideration of resolution number 13-19 for the approval of the agreement for the exchange of real property, development agreement, and amended and restated conveyance agreement, and infrastructure construction and payment agreement for the constructions of Bell Avenue and McCain Smith and McCord Roads. I now entertain a motion and a second for this item. Trustee Jay and moved, and Trustee Lang seconded. Okay. So I see no one wishing to comment. Let's vote on the item. All right, matter carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. That concludes item 6.3. And I want to congratulate all the staff and all of the consultants, and also thank the City of Tustin and their staff for all of their collective hard work. And we're looking forward very much to moving on and developing ATEP campus and to have a long and positive relationship with the City of Tustin. Thank you very much.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead. Would you please put your mic on?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Having suffered through not the work myself, but I just appreciate all the work that all the people did for month after month, week after week, year after year to get this done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, City of Tustin. Okay. All right. We are now back on our regular agenda. Thank you, consultants, too, for coming tonight. And we are at our discussion item, I do believe. So that will be presented by Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College, the Student Success Task Force Recommendation number 8. So would our presenters please come forward to the podium? Huh?
Kathy, I think it's this one.
Okay. And
I've got it. Yeah.
Katie? Okay, Smiders.
Excuse me. Good evening, Kathy Schmeidler, Academic Senate President, IVC. And this is Bob Cosgrove, Academic Senate President, for at least a few more days, Saddleback. Right? Okay. It's our pleasure to introduce to you two of our faculty members, one from IVC and one from Saddleback, to talk to you about a specific project that they've been working on together that fits well to illustrate the sorts of things that Recommendation 8 is speaking about. Now, of course, all of these recommendations are very broad, and so we've just been bringing you examples of the sorts of things that could go on. But I'd like especially to bring your attention to recall Recommendation 4 presentation that was done by the two curriculum chairs, one from each college, and a dean and a vice president of instruction from the two colleges back in January. One of the things that several of the things that they talked about had to do with cooperation between the two colleges, coordination of programs, coordination of curriculum, not the curriculum itself, but coordination of offerings, course offerings, and general cooperation. And I think what you'll hear today is going to be a sterling example of that kind of cooperation. So please do refer back to the recommendation number 4 as well. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Bob?
Y'all get it.
All right. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and get into the right place.
Say your name and your affiliation before you start.
Try to get
Or
this
else
thing.
they yell at you. This is Tony Teng from Saddleback College as he's working on getting his PowerPoint up.
Madam President, Board of Trustees, thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to share with you an example of how we can align resources to get student success. As you kind of highlight that, is that student success is the key word. So what I'd like to do is introduce both myself and my fellow presenter, Bob Urell, who's the department chair over at the School of Business over at Irvine Valley College. Myself, I'm the accounting department chair over here at Saddleback College. We've been familiar with many of you with all your strong support, and we want to thank you. And we want to kind of share with you what our two programs have done in terms of the accounting departments to kind of give you an idea of what can be done and what can be provided to our student to improve the student success. Because one of the things that we really believe in when Bob and I and my predecessor have been working together over several years in terms of trying to coordinate the accounting programs. So what we look at is that we look at ourselves not as adversaries of different colleges, that we really look like we're working together as complementary partners. To give you a little bit of background, this kind of gives you an idea in terms of how many students we serve every academic year. If you see here the comparison between Irvine Valley College and Saddleback College, the first two classes, Accounting 1A Financial Accounting and Accounting 1B Managerial Accounting, you can see that we're very similar in terms of number of students served. In terms of when we see the differences between us, it's very close. The other area of other accounting courses is besides the Accounting 1A, 1B classes, we offer several other classes as well. And the reason why I wanted to highlight that is because we have two different types. We really want to work together, and because there's limited resources, we want to make sure our programs work together. So a little bit of background in terms of program and curriculum development, which is very important to us, because it's very easy for two different colleges to start developing competing programs. Instead of trying to develop two competing programs, what we try to show you here is that there's basically two types of students that come here to get accounting training at both Irvine Valley and as well as Saddleback College. The first one is the transfer students that take the Accounting 1A, 1B courses, and those students are normally the transfers into the four-year universities. However, then also the other ones are the career technical education students who are really preparing to go into the accounting profession. So what happens there is we have public, industry, and other careers, and because of that, it's very difficult to be able to provide all things to all people. So one of the better ways to do it is so that Irvine Valley and Saddleback work together. Both campuses also are heavily invested into the entrepreneurship development partnerships, locally as well as across the state. Cross discipline, also working within different programs within our campuses. The benefit to our students and why we do this is that we can coordinate our courses that are to be accepted between both colleges. In other words, if we're both offering courses, we both accept each other's courses. Also, course availability, because what happens in most cases is that we can't offer classes of all our curriculum in every semester. So what we do is we coordinate with each other, so we're cross the course offerings. We also share our instructor pools in that when we need part-time instructors, we share and help each other in terms of make sure we have good qualified instructors. We also collaborate on new course development. When we have new programs or new ideas, especially in the accounting industry right now, where CPAs are now required for additional training and education, we're also putting programs together for them. The main thing is that we have a common vision. And by having this common vision, one of the things is we can work together to help our students. We can get better pricing for textbooks and instructional materials, significantly lower than what they would be able to get on their own. And also, one of the biggest problems, because we rely so heavily on technology in a lot of our accounting classes now, that because of the volumes that we have in terms of number of students, we're able to demand top-tier technical support from our publishers, which means is when our students need help, they get help right away, rather than having to wait for someone else to help them out. So here's an example of what's recently happening, and Bob and I are trying to finalize this, for instance, of how we can work together. We use the same textbook for the financial and managerial accounting. Over the last month, we've been doing joint publisher demonstrations using both the full-time and part-time faculty participating in the evaluation of all the possible textbooks to make sure that everyone has an equal voice. By selecting the common textbook, we create a volume of scale that allows us to maintain product quality within both programs, making sure that students get supported properly, and also that the publisher gives the best pricing possible. This weekend, I was at a conference, and I was comparing prices with other colleges in the area, and we've got the best price in terms of college textbooks for our Accounting 1A, 1B books. So in other words, the best thing happened is that our combined efforts together in volume gives us the best buying power for our students.
My name is Bob Urell. I'm the chair of the School of Business over at Irvine Valley. Thank you for having us this evening. Some of the other things that are very important to us, obviously, is our student success. And we do that by offering joint tutoring labs. So we've cooperated not only in the curriculum side, but some of the support issues that we need to see with our students. So our students transfer back and forth between the two colleges. They may take 1A here at Saddleback, and then they'll come down and take the 1B class at Irvine Valley. They may take cost accounting here, auditing at Irvine Valley. Our tax classes are offered on both campuses, but we don't offer them at the same time so that we're not competing. We make sure that we have seats available for the students at all times. Oops. One of the things we do in the tutoring lab is we allow the students to have drop-in as well as part-time instructors work in there, and I think Tony has some of his full-time instructors working in the tutoring labs here also. Some of this tutoring is funded through Basic Skills and Perkins funding. We also have volunteer tax assistants at both campuses where we bring in tax professionals as well as our students who have taken our tax classes, and they volunteer to do tax returns for the community. Over this last year, between Irvine Valley and Saddleback College, we serviced over 400 tax returns, and these were free to the community members. So it's not only great experience, but we're putting dollars back into the community with those tax returns. So that's been very well accepted. We also have field trips that we, through our accounting society, we have a joint accounting society between Irvine Valley and Saddleback College, and we're able to take our students on field trips. Matter of fact, we were just at Trustee Lang's CPA firm, HBLA, and we did a tour and had some really good turnout there. We also are involved in many of the professional organizations. One of our full-time instructors, Don Bradshaw, has just been named president of the Orange County chapter of the Institute of Management Accountants, which is going to be a great boon for us in looking for internships and getting jobs available for our students. So this cooperation that we have between the two colleges has been extremely valuable, not only to us to be able to provide the good instruction to our students, but also to help the students as they go through the educational phase, the transfer phase, and then finally the job opportunities. Thank you very much.
I'm sure my colleagues would be happy to field questions if you have any.
Any trustees wishing to have comments or questions? Trustee Milchiker.
You forget so soon. Dr. Tang, as you know, I took accounting fall semester, and I just want to say that it was really, I had never taken an accounting class before, so it was really interesting, and I learned a tremendous amount, but I was at the drop-in labs every day, I think, and they really helped me get through the class and pass the class and do pretty well. I got a B, so I did pretty well. And so not only it helped me, who I really don't have a background in business, I have a background in biology and art and many other disciplines, and it gave me a lot of confidence for the work I do on the Board of Trustees, being on the audit committee and working with the budgets to ensure that I could really understand them and do a better job as a trustee. So I want to thank you for that. That's more of a thanks than a question. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just want to thank you also for coming and participating in our accounting lab. I want to just mention to the board that it was when you walked into the accounting lab and several students recognized who you were, they said, wow, a board member can take an accounting class and needs help too. And several of the students were very impressed that, that a board member would go ahead and take a class to try to improve themselves as well. And it just showed that you guys are all very involved with our programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And no grade inflation.
No grade inflation.
All right. I don't see any other trustees with comments. Thank you very much for a very interesting report and discussion item. We are now at the consent calendar, item 5. And do I have anyone wanting to pull items off of the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Trustee Lang, seconded by Trustee Prendergast. Let's all vote on the consent calendar. Matter carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. So we are now at general action items. We've done 6.1, 2, and 3. So we are at 6.4. The district retiree OPEB trust actuarial validations and liabilities. I believe that's going to be presented by Dr. Fitzsimons.
Yes, and I'll promise next board meeting not to be so boring and dry with my material, okay? All right. Last fall at the September board meeting, you had before you 2 items that we discussed regarding the OPEB liability amount. And just to remind you that we were talking about the unfunded retirement health benefit liability. Every 2 years we have an actuary do a report and identify what the liability amount is. And then we, our budget philosophy here at the district is to fully fund that liability. At the time that we brought the information to you, the report had increased the liability amount by approximately $16 million. And because of the large variance between the 2 years, because normally it was about $4 million a year, we felt that we wanted to basically review and analyze that dollar amount and verify that amount through a variety of recommendations that we brought to you last fall. Those steps included to engage in the supplement to the actuary study when the enrollees for the CSCA early retirement plan were known. We would also request the actuary, TCS, to conduct an experience study to determine whether the CalPERS and CalSTRS rates and tables actually represented the history of our district with our own employees and retirees. We are also recommending at that time that the actuary study, which was normally done every 2 years, because of that large variance, be done annually for a minimum at least the next few years and earlier in the fiscal year than traditionally had been done in the past to identify the amount of the actuary liability and develop funding strategies in appropriate time for tentative budget. And also, when the studies were completed, the information would be presented to the Retirement Board of Authority and the Board of Trustees for further discussion and action. So tonight you have before you item 6.4, in which TCS has completed the experience study, and the results of the study identified on one area where the district experience differed from the state retirement tables, and was a very small classified staff retirement table correction or adjustment that they recommended. Because it was such a small impact on the liability amount, we went further and reviewed all the assumptions and data identified, and we also, as staff, found a correction to the actuary's information, and that was adjusted. In February 2013, we decided to obtain a second opinion, and we developed a scope and hired Nyhart Epler for a second opinion. The scope entailed further validating assumptions used for prior evaluations from the original actuary, and also completing an updated actuary evaluation for 2013 for comparison purposes. So the original actuary also did a 2013 updated study, as well as Nyhart Epler. Nyhart Epler recommended changing 2 of the assumptions used previously. The first was to incorporate the most recent STRS mortality rates, which were from the STRS tables of 2011. And the original actuary had used 2009 tables, and we felt that that wasn't appropriate, but we had the updated information to go ahead and use it. The second change included using higher medical cost trends. And when we closely looked at that, it conformed with our district trends, and it seemed very reasonable for us to accept that assumption as well. So TCS was also using a lower medical trend rate. They were using 4%. So the district supported those recommendations from Nyhart and Epler. The results of the actuary evaluation was $89.5 million AAL, which stands for actuarial accrued liability, and it is an increase of $4.6 million compared to the 2012 study. Since last year, the value of the trust assets increased to $73.6 million, which also increased $4.6 million. The net result is a UAAL, which stands for unfunded actuarial accrued liability, of $15.8 million, which is only slightly different from 2012, and we have on the second page in an attachment a comparison of the two studies. And as you can see in purple, we have the total required contribution, and in orange we have the assumptions that we felt we were in agreement with from Neihart-Epler. So the recommendation before you tonight is to recommend that the Board of Trustees approve funding the OPEB liability of $15,889,745 from the basic aid funds that were reserved for this purpose back in fall based on Neihart-Epler's validations in the updated actuarial report.
Trustee Lang.
Yes, I'm going to make a motion that we follow your recommendation with the funding amount that's indicated in this item. I did have a quick question, though, and that is what are the costs related to these various studies that were done, and are those costs borne by the district or by the trust?
Before you answer, we need a second on your motion. All right, got 5 seconds, okay.
Yes.
All right.
The costs were approximately $20,000, but given that we were looking at around $16 million or more, we felt it was warranted and is borne by the trust.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, just to clarify, so we set this money aside based on this assumption, so it's not like it's coming out of somewhere else. It was set up as a
Correct.
reserve.
In the fall, I don't know if you recall that we set it aside, but we wanted to verify and validate this information and the assumptions, and we were going to bring it back to you for final approval. And as a side note, we did have a basic savings to the basic aid fund of a little bit under $700,000, which went back into the basic aid pot as a result.
Okay, very good. Trustee Jay. Did you want to? No? Okay. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, let's vote on the item. Carries unanimously with one student advisory yes vote. All right, very good. We are now at 6.5, board policy revisions. And let's see, who is going to present that?
That would be me again.
Okay.
I believe we might have a few recommended changes. All right. Do you want to present them? We have before you 13 board policies for second reading and approval.
Do you have a question? Would you push your button, please, if you want to speak? Trustee Lang.
Yes, I had recommended a few, some fairly, what's the word? Minor ministerial changes to a couple of the different policies that are before us tonight.
Give us the numbers so we can focus in.
Okay. The first one is 4113. And the change that I am recommending was, I don't know, have you passed these
Sure.
out?
I passed out 3 different board policies. They should be in front of the board members. 4113, 5601, and 109.
Right.
In the first paragraph on 4113, which is parental leave for administrators and classified management personnel, I believe Trustee Lang was recommending, in the first paragraph, you could see in red some track changes. So in the second sentence, it will, instead of it'll read, this leave shall run concurrently with any entitlement under the Family Medical Leave Act and the California Family Rights Act. Longer leaves or leave extensions may be granted by the board, period. And strike out the verbiage depending upon the nature of the employee's position and responsibilities, because it is addressed in paragraph 2.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The second one is Board Policy 5601, which is certificate programs. In the first sentence, it reads, the awarding of a certificate acknowledges, and strike out to the recipient and the potential employer that all courses in an approved career and technical program have been satisfactorily completed. So we're recommending striking out to the recipient and the potential employer because it does not add to that sentence. It actually sounds a little bit confusing. The third recommended change is on Board Policy 109, which is the board education policy. It's under 2 guidelines, number 2. on an annual basis, that paragraph begins. The recommendation is to add a sentence that says, the Board of Trustees are encouraged to attend at least one conference per year to stay current on relevant community college issues and to better become informed about higher education policy and initiatives.
Okay.
Those are the 3 recommended changes.
Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, these are very good. Nice catch on the first 2 there. On the 109, just it seems we might need to do a little more wordsmithing here or play with something, because on item 3 it says the district will budget for each trustee to participate in up to 2 out-of-district conferences. So in one section we're saying go to at least 1, but saying that we're budgeting 2, it almost seems like we'd be encouraging 2. So I don't know if we want to clarify that.
If the truth of the matter is under item 1, I was recommending that we actually delete the verbiage, but not more than 3, because I don't know anybody on the current board that's abusing the privilege of going to conferences, and I think we really want to encourage attendance at conferences, and that would, I think, maybe address your issue as well.
So are you saying then instead of all the stuff in red, you really just wanted to strike out but not more than 3, or?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I think that would make more sense. So we're saying on line 1 of item 1 under guidelines, it would read, individual trustees should try to participate in at least
Actually,
one.
I changed that slightly. I'd probably say individual trustees are encouraged to participate.
So that's where the red should go then.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it.
In at least one conference each year.
Well, it says that already.
Yes, but striking out but not more than 3.
Okay. All right. Trustee Jemal.
I support the change. I just wondering why we need a prescription in there anyway, to have at least one. Why is there a need to have to prescribe at least one?
We're encouraging, not
okay.
Encouraging. That's all.
Yeah, I think
some of us who have been here many, many years have been to many over the years. Trustee, Milchiker, go ahead.
Yeah, I think most trustees now don't even attend one conference a year, and I think it's good to encourage trustees to do that, because you learn about the other districts and what's going on. You learn a lot about legislative things, and it's really helpful and important.
Trustee Peter, yes.
Okay, so procedurally, would we need to move this to not be included in the approval tonight and further review and then come back to the next one, or can we make the change now?
I think we've made the changes.
We have it in our purview to make those changes tonight.
Right.
Okay.
Tonight, if we want to, and move forward. Yeah. So then
I'll move. Obviously,
go ahead.
I'm moving approval of this revised language to 109 and the other ones that we had.
All right, you're going to do that separate from a motion to approve all of them. You seconded. Okay. So we're just approving these changes right now. Any comments about that? Let's vote on that item. It's been moved and seconded.
I want to clarify what change we made to 109 before I vote on it.
I think, go ahead, say it again.
You want me to read it again?
Yes, please.
Put your mic on, please.
Under guidelines, number 1 would say individual trustees are encouraged to participate in at least one conference each year that provides professional development of trustee-related knowledge and skills. 2, strike the red language that's in 2 entirely, and the rest of it stands as is.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, seeing no other comments, let's vote on the changes to these 3 items, correct? All right. Trustee John carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve all of these items. Okay. Trustee Lang moved and seconded by Trustee Wright. Let's vote on that item.
I think there's a hand up in the audience. I don't know if you want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bob Cosgrove would like to comment.
Board Policy 2100.2, which is the role and scope of authority of the academic senates,
yes,
had some changes made to it, which has not been sent back to us. to discuss and then review.
I think that Academic Senate President Bob Cosgrove was referring to a recommendation by Trustee Jemal. So look at 2100.2. The changes aren't made in their packet, but Trustee Jemal was asking that a word be changed on page 1 of 2, section 4. He suggested that the word jointly be deleted.
Which word? And what?
Jointly. It's about fourth line down. It basically, he felt that it was redundant to say mutually approved and jointly in the same sentence. And I think the Academic Senate President recommended that it stay in. They felt it was emphasis. It was an emphasis thing that they preferred to have in there.
Can I ask?
Okay. Well, that should have come to the board and not separate from the board. Yes.
Can I ask him to just quickly respond why you need both mutually? I don't have the exact language. Jointly and mutually supported.
It's the terminology of Title V.
Okay. I'm fine with it. It just seemed a little redundant and it's somewhat confusing, but if I don't know how my colleagues think about it.
Well, I think what he's saying is that it's quoting the code section, so that it's important to do that.
But I don't even see the word mutually in that.
If you're going to talk, Trustee Lang, please use your mic as well as Trustee Pendergast.
Just to clarify, just prior to the board meeting, Trustee Jemal asked the question. So it's under number 3, and it's a sentence that says, shall be mutually agreed upon jointly. It was the question of whether you needed both phrases.
Okay.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
I saw.
Okay. So leaving it as is fine with you, Bob Cosgrove?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So I think that's what the motion was. So we'll go on with voting on the motion as it was made, unless there are any further comments. Trustee Jemal? No?
I don't feel that strongly about it.
Okay. So let's continue
Obviously, there's
our
strong
vote.
feelings on the other end.
We need Trustee Jemal, Trustee Milchecker, Trustee Pendergast to vote, please. Trustee Milchecker and Trustee, thank you. Carries unanimously with 1 student advisory yes vote. And we are now at 6.6, and these are board policies for review and study. Any comments or questions?
No comments today.
Okay. Trustee Jemal, you still lighted up? No? Okay.
Move for review and study.
Okay. All right. So let's vote on the motion to accept for review and study. Carries unanimously with the student advisory yes vote. We are now at 6.7. And this is nominations, should the board request or want to do so, for the OCSBA Maureen DiMarco Award.
Recommend approval.
No, you have to nominate someone if you want to vote this item. You don't have to nominate anyone. We don't have to recommend anyone. But is there anyone on the board who would like to be recommended or recommend someone?
The mayor...
You put your mic on.
There's 2 awards given by the Orange County School Boards Association. There's the one award, that's the Marion Bergeson Award, and that's only given to a school board member. The Maureen DiMarco Award is given to anybody, not necessarily a school board member. It could be a school board member, but it's really for anybody that supports schools in any way that you'd like to nominate for this award. That's just to clarify what
All right,
this
thank
is.
you very much. Does anyone want to nominate someone for this award? Okay. We will pass this item. Let's go to the next item, 6.8. This is a resolution on classified employee layoff, and Dr. Begay, you're going to present this?
Right. This is a layoff due to a grant that we no longer have. Says the board approve it.
Any comments or questions? I'm sorry, you need to use your mic if you're going to talk.
Yes, I'm sorry. Is this a roll call item that requires a vote by roll call?
Yes, it's a resolution.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So would you call the roll, please? Oh, wait, you have to have a motion and a second. Moved by Trustee Lang, second by Trustee Wright. Let's have the roll call, Madam.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Jemal.
Aye.
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Student Trustee Robinson.
All right, Madam carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. We're at 6.9, request for sabbatical revision and rescission. So,
Recommend approval of the item as presented.
okay, any comments or questions about this?
I'll second.
Moved by Trustee Lang, seconded by Trustee Jay. All right, seeing none, let's vote on the item. Carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. 6.10, academic personnel actions. And there are, I believe, some additional pages added to this item.
Yes, there was one page added at the board members' dais for item number 6, which is
Could you talk into your mic, please?
Vincent A1F, Vincent Polizzi. Oh, that's your desk as well.
Okay. Everyone get that change, and it was passed out to us, so. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve that with that additional.
Move approval.
Moved by Trustee Milchiker, seconded by Trustee Jemal. Seeing no comments, let's vote on the item. Trustee Jay, you need to vote.
I'm sorry.
Carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. And we are now at 6.11, and that's classified personnel actions. Any changes or?
There's no changes, but there is a question that somebody brought up previously. I'd like to, if you can, look at page 14 of 19, which is C1, and we have 3 different items there. It's a little bit unusual. What's happening is that we have Irvine Valley College is actively trying to reduce cost by changing the positions from being a 12-month position to an 11 or 10-month position. So by doing that, we'd actually save a month in labor dollars during time periods when we wouldn't have as much activity on the campus. So it's positive. We actually have classified staff vying for the positions because it's nice to have those time periods off.
Yeah.
So,
Trustee Lang.
So is that a trend that you see continuing? Does that cause any disruptions with respect to those positions? I'm just interested in finding out a little bit more about the mechanics of that.
The colleges having 9, 10, and 11-month positions is pretty common across the state of California. Generally, you'll see a change in how you do business in the summer. We've not experienced this a lot here in our district, so this is kind of, to some extent, something new for Irvine Valley College. I think they have to go through their own transition time to see how successful it is. It probably will be, but at this point, this is a footstep towards the area trying to have cost reductions and seeing how the staffing works out. So it's a little bit innovative on their part, which is actually pretty good. So we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, no, I think it's just in the way of rejoinder. I think it's innovative,
yes,
and sounds a little experimental, and I guess we'll see how it works out.
Yes.
Trustee Pendergast.
Just curious, since these are classified positions and they're essentially paid hourly, so they're basically, it's their own responsibility to budget themselves for the times that they're not working, or is it something where it's spread out through their pay over a 12-month, or, I mean...
There's different options on this particular one. This one has the flexibility so the supervisor and the employee can actually work out the calendar details. And so it may be that they may be off an entire month, or it's possible they could work out a schedule which will be transmitted to Human Resources and the business department as to maybe X number of days per month rather than a time off.
Great.
Trustee Jay.
I like this approach. I really do. So I will support the item. Has it been moved?
No.
Nope.
I will move it.
Okay. Second, please. Second. Second by Trustee Jemal. Let's all vote on the item. Carries unanimously with a student advisory yes vote. And that concludes our action items. We are now at 7.1, reports. That's Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College Annual Accreditation Report. Any comments or questions on this item? Okay.
Yay us.
Yay us.
Yay
Oh,
us.
there was a comment. Yay us. Okay. 7.2, Saddleback College and IVC and ATEP vision and mission statements. Seeing no questions or comments, we'll move to 7.3. This is a list of speakers for Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College. Seeing no comments, we will move to 7.4, Basic Aid Report.
No changes since the April report.
Okay, thank you. 7.5, Facilities Plan Status Report. Okay, no comments. Let's move on to 7.6, Monthly Financial Status Report. Seeing no comments, let's go to 7.7, Retiree Trust Fund Report. And seeing no comments, we're then at 7.8, which is Quarterly Investment Report. And again, no comments. So we are now at 8, which is our report by our governance groups and administration. So we'll start with Saddleback College Academic Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. What's being passed around is in response to one of the presentations at public comment last meeting regarding part-timers, and one of the part-timers stood up and discussed some of the difficulties that part-timers are finding. And from my observations of what she said, they're accurate. There are many articles in existence. This is one that I just came across the other day. And if you notice, it's by a senior producer from NBC News. Looking at the American Association of University Professors, which does very extensive research in this area, we're looking at something like 76% of teachers at universities and colleges are contingent instructors. And this does not bode well for student success, quite frankly, unless we really get a handle on it and begin to help people. Those of you who have read Admiral Rickover's Education and Freedom book, while it's many years ago, his tenet is, his thesis is still genuine. If you don't have educated people, you don't have a free society. And I'm very concerned about what's happening in this particular area. A second point, an email I came across the other day from Cliff Meyer, one of our department chairs at Saddleback College. He wrote to me and said, "Bob, I'd like to ask for your help and also the help of Lewis Long. The department chairs in the ATAS division would like to know what status is regarding department chair compensation." This was written in August 15th, 2010. We still have not resolved this issue. It is another issue that is going to impact student success, because the department chairs in particular are genuinely being distressed by what is not occurring. So we need to get on top of this if we want to see the 8 items in student success be accomplished. Also like to point out the importance of the commendation to Don Mineo. He has done really extensive work, very tirelessly, on behalf of both the classified members of Saddleback College and for the college and district as well. And he has done excellent work, and thank you, Don. I'd also like to recognize someone who hasn't been recognized in a long time. That's Roy Bauer, who gives us a unique perspective on the board meetings, and one of your greatest fans. And Roy, thank you so much for all the things that you observe and give us a different perspective on. And finally, I'd like to thank the faculty and administration in 2 areas, both related to curriculum. One, you have on your board agenda, which you've approved, 2 new positions for curriculum specialists. Actually, 1 new position. So we'll have 2 for a college this size, which has been needed for many years, and that will make student success in this area much smoother. And also to our administration for agreeing to provide 15 LHE for our curriculum chair for the fall semester. This is a full reassignment to solve problems that have been building over a period of time that we must solve, because we can't offer courses if they're not approved by the state. Thank you.
All right, we are now at the Faculty Association. Not here? Okay. Irvine Valley College Academic Senate.
Good evening, thank you. There. Mine is very brief. I'd like to thank the faculty members that spoke tonight, and all the people that have spoken over the course of the year on this series of Student Success Task Force recommendation presentations. It's been, I think, very interesting to have people from both colleges, administrators and faculty members, speak to each of these issues through the year. And I have a feeling that Gary has a plan for next year, having a new presentation series for next year, but we haven't decided what it's going to be yet.
All right.
And to follow up on something that, I don't know what the beep thing is. I seem to be under attack by my microphone. To follow up a little bit on Bob Cosgrove, there was an article during the week in the LA Times, probably elsewhere, the previous Secretary of Education, I think, or something, anyhow, saying that only 100 of the colleges across the country were worth the money. And I take issue with that. He's looking only at salaries, and to follow up on what Bob was saying, education and having an educated citizenry is the cornerstone of freedom and the kind of freedom that we enjoy here in the United States. And whether it gets translated into higher pay or other aspects of our lives, supporting education at all the stages in life, including after the career is over, is really important. And I'm glad that you as a board support education at all stages in life, and hope that you continue to do so. You mentioned how busy a month this is, and it's obviously very busy, especially this week at the campuses. This is final exam week, and culminating in commencement on Friday, as you've mentioned. So I hope to see all of you later in the week. Thank you.
All right, now our Associate Vice Chancellor, Economic Development, Randy Peebles.
Thank you. Good evening. Well, welcome to David Robinson, a student member to Trustees. Also, I'm, of course, very pleased to be at this strategic point in the development of ATEP and look forward to reports in the future as we move forward in that development. And I also wanted to thank Brandy Delane, is still in the audience, for her part and role in the developing a lot of the agreements and details and the development agreements, and has helped us move this along at ATEP. Thank you.
Okay, and next is Robert Burici, our Vice Chancellor of Technology.
I'll mention one thing. District IT does a lot of maintenance in the summer. One thing we have coming up is Blackboard upgrade. It's a minor upgrade, but it does add some new functionality, and I think our students and faculty will like it.
Thank you. And our Vice Chancellor of Human Resources is Dr. Brigay.
Tomorrow I'll be part of a panel for the San Diego Labor and Employment Relations Association, and it's kind of interesting. I'll be on the panel. There's three of us. There's Bruce Barsick from Liebert Cassidy Whitmore, but also there's Robin DeVette, the CTA representative. And surprisingly, we have never met face-to-face, but we've worked on multiple issues over the years. What's interesting is part of her presentation is how to develop trust with administration. So I think we'll do very well. We've been talking a lot recently, so it'd be very fascinating. The most fun thing I've done this last month, of all things, was talking to Rupa Mather's class at IVC, Management 104, about how to get that job. So it's kind of fun helping students like that. Well, also Kathy Schmeiler. I was in her class, and I didn't do what I was told. I was afraid she'd tell you. I was supposed to visit her class and hear about genetics, and I ended up talking to the students too much, and I took her class time, and I got yelled at by her. So anyway.
All right, thank you for a very good report. Vice Chancellor of Business Services, Dr. Fitzsimons.
Yes, the Governor's May revise came out last week, and for the community college system, the recommendation is for a cost of living adjustment of 1.57%, as well as growth into the system of 1.63%, and also some money being infused into the Student Success Program. The constitutional deadline for the passage of the budget is June 15th, so the next few weeks there's going to be a flurry of activity, and we'll have more details at the June board meeting when we bring the tentative budget forward for your review and approval.
All right, thank you. And our CSEA, IVC Classified Senate President did his
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to mention that we're going to have 5 of our classified staff attending the Classified Leadership Conference in Sacramento next month. And we're going to be presenting 3 workshops, one on enhancing institutional performance, another on leadership development, and then a third on creating mission and vision statements for the organization. So.
Okay. Now our CACA President.
Thank you, Madam President, board members.
I want to thank you very much for approving the 2 positions of the curriculum specialist here at Saddleback. It's been much needed, and thank you for approving that. We are in the midst of our Classified School Employees Week. We had a breakfast social at both campuses this morning. On Wednesday, we're going to have a cake social. You're all invited to those. If you're at IVC, it will be in the Business Technology Center, room 120, between 3:30 and 4:30. And here at Saddleback on Wednesday, the 22nd, it'll be at Student Services 212 from 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. Pizza will be available for consumption at our chapter meetings both in June and July. Saddleback and both IVC have classified staff that are working very hard to get ready for commencement so that both commencement ceremonies will be running very smoothly. Thank you.
Okay, and our Saddleback Classified Senate.
We don't eat like that at all of our meetings, just to let you know.
Okay.
Welcome, David Robinson, as our student trustee. As a fellow student leader here, I feel that it's very important to take on the role, but the responsibility also will get to you if you don't ask for help. So I encourage you to ask for help and come on down to the Career Center if you have any questions about the agenda. Thank you for my award here. Thank you for Bob for your kind words, but also your support to classified staff, especially since you know the duties that we do and how it relates to student success. I would have introduced you to Mike Sauter if I had the opportunity. He showed up for his wife, who was getting the award for Outstanding Student. He will be the next president. He will start in this role July 1st. And then, of course, I'd speak about our next president, but we haven't actually confirmed the vote yet. And that will happen this Wednesday, but the only person that actually ran is someone from financial aid, and he's right in the back of the room, so I'll ask him to stand up. His name is Dennis Slawski. And I know I messed up your last name. And he will actually be confirmed this May 22nd. And then his period will be as a president-elect is 2 years. And then president for 2 years. So you'll see Mike on the seat for the next 2 years unless he decides just to have a one-year post, because it's in our bylaws that someone can resign if they just don't want to continue on. As you can see, we have some period of time that we are able to not be bugged by all the faculty, because they're usually gone during this period of time after graduation until our first summer. And it's actually very important that we actually have time to do work, especially with since 2002. A lot of our jobs actually were never rehired, especially as a previous chancellor. He wanted to make sure that the raises were there for them. So unfortunately, we already lost positions back in 2002. When we come back, we're still missing some positions. So this time that we're not being bugged by anyone, because our students will still be here asking questions. Even if we close down the campus, the students are still going to be needing and asking questions. So we have a lot of work to do during this downtime. One of the events that we decided to do was a CPR training, and we're going to be doing that actually the following week after finals, which is a great opportunity. But of course, we don't have that many people signing up to do extra work here, especially since Dennis was the only one that ran for president. We only had one other person that ran for treasurer, so we still have secretary and 3 other positions still open. As you can tell, everyone is down to really not as many employees as, of course, we would want. That comes to the big story of we are making decisions about the 99%, the people that will be working in the future. And not only you make those decisions, but we suggest suggestions to you. We have to be responsive to our needs of our community, because we need strong workers in California, and there's a reason why California is the strongest state in the nation. So thank you very much for letting me sit up here for the last 2 years. You'll see me for 1 month, and I'll probably come to substitute as well.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Thank you. And that concludes our meeting, but I am going to, without objection, recommend that we adjourn this meeting in memory of one of ours, Kay Mock. Without objection, that's what we will do. Thank you very much.